So I saw Fantastic Four: The First Steps at the theaters, and I was really excited for this movie based on the fact that you have the director who did WandaVision, which I love that show. In my opinion, it's one of the best Marvel Disney Plus shows, and that show did a great job with a family element where you had Wanda, Vision, and no kids. So I thought he handled the family stuff in that show really well. And also, it's the MCU's first attempt at a Fantastic Four movie, so I was excited to see what they would do with Fantastic Four, especially as someone who has not liked any of the previous Fantastic Four movies. Like, I didn't like the Tim Story ones. I didn't like the 2015 one. If you want to count the Bars or Corman one that was then released in theaters, I'm not a fan of that one either. Like, to me, they've never been done well, in my opinion, when it comes to a really good to great Fantastic Four movie. So I went in with a lot of excitement for this movie. I thought this was a great movie. This, to me, is what I've been waiting for when it comes to a Fantastic Four movie. Like, I felt like this movie captured who the characters are, and it kind of like Superman to me, where it felt like this came from somebody who loves the comics. Like this felt like this embraced the comics, in my opinion. And really, the only negatives I have with this movie is that I would say two negatives, which is just nitpicks personally, which is that the baby at times in the third act looked a little CGI. I could tell when it comes to like short distance shots, and I would say you could have added an extra 10 minutes onto this movie. But honestly, those are more nitpicks. There's nothing really majorly I had an issue with when it came to this movie. I thought the cast was great. To me, Peter Pascal did a great job. Like, he's a great actor, in my opinion, and this is the first time I felt like they captured Mr. Fantastic. Like, in the Tim Story ones, one of the issues I had with those movies is that Mr. Fantastic in those movies, I can't remember the name of the actor, but in the Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, Fantastic Four movies, Mr. Fantastic came off so goofy in those movies to me, and I just never bought he was smart. Like he came off kind of like an idiot in those movies to me personally. Like when I saw those movies and watched them, I was just like, it just I don't buy this guy as like this is supposed to be somebody who's really smart. He's supposed to have the weight of the world on his shoulders. That's supposed to be a leader. He just kind of came off goofy and kind of an idiot in those movies to me personally. Like I just never bought him as the smartest guy. Peter Purcell, I think he does a great job of being so much like just weight to the character and making you feel like that. Yeah, there's something a little bit more often when it comes to him. So when it comes to him, like being a smartest guy in the world and always thinking the most logical choice, which is sometimes a choice that people aren't happy with. But he never like to me. I think he just been so much like gravitas and just like seriousness to the character. Where I really buy that this is the guy who's the smartest person in the room. This is the guy who does think logically all the time, even if people don't like what he's thinking. Like there's a great moment in this movie where he's with his kid Franklin, the baby, and he says to his baby like, "Don't grow up to be like me." And I love the fact you see that, yes, he's a little awkward, this Mr. Fantastic, but I buy that he is the smartest guy in the room. I buy that he's a leader. And that's something that Tim Story was. And no offense to the actor, but I was not a fan of how Mr. Fantastic was written in those movies. Or the 2015 one. Like, to me, neither of those movies got the character right. So, Pierre Best, in my opinion, is by far the best Mr. Fantastic. Like, to me, he just brings so much layers and depth to the character. You really buy him as a dad too in this movie. He just again, like I said, he's a great actor, and he just nailed the kid. Like this is Mister Fantastic in my opinion from the comics, the one I love where there's like there's an awkwardness to him, but it's not in a way that's like really silly or goofy, and he actually comes off like he's smart. Doesn't come off like to me like an idiot like he did in the Tim Story ones. So I thought Paper still nailed the character, perfect cast in my opinion. Vanessa Kobe as Sue Storm, I thought she was great as Sue Storm. Like you really buy her as the mother of the group, and her and Paper Pastel I think have fantastic chemistry. One of the other issues I have Tim Story ones is that I never bought the chemistry between Mr. Fantastic, the actor who played Mr. Fantastic in those movies, and Jessica Alba in those movies. Like I never bought the chemistry between those two characters in those movies. And no offense to Jessica Alba, I don't think she's really a great actress. I don't think she's a bad actress either, but she was basically did to play the Hako in those movies, and it like I just felt like she wasn't. I just didn't find her performance to be all that great in those movies. You know, and that includes like the guy who played Mr. Fantastic. I don't think he was really. I don't think they were written all that well those characters and those Tim Story ones personally, and the chemistry just wasn't there in my opinion. But she'd been so much like toughness and badass to this character Susan, where you really feel her love for a kid, and I really felt like you really feel love for Reed Wisters. And also, you see how, like, at times she hates the fact of how he always thinks of the most logical choice, and she may not always be happy with that. And I love that. I also love the fact you see her kind of like she's helping out Mole Man, one of the villains from the comics, and how she kind of like you really like I said you really feel as like kind of like the co-leader of the team, where she's kind of the second one in charge, and I think she does a great job of just being in this motherly love, and there's been so much layers to the character, and at times you see a little bit of the Susan's like anger when she realizes they have to use a kid as bait, and you see her get angry in that moment, and just that moment shows what they have to do, like they have to use the kid as bait, and you see her get angry in that moment. So I love that she just brings a lot of layers to the character and just a lot of heart to the character when it comes to like really her love for Reverses and for this family. I thought her and Joseph Quinn, who plays Johnny Storm, I really bought them as brother and sister, because I didn't buy it in Tim Story ones with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans. So I thought she was great in this movie, and like that moment she's like giving that speech to the people on the planet about about her and her brother Johnny's history with them losing their parents. Like I think that's one of the best moments in a Fantastic Four movie. Like I love that moment. Again, she has been so much like just so much layers to the character. And when it comes to Joseph Quinn as Human Torch, I think he's great as Human Torch. Like I love Chris Evans as Human Torch. I think Chris Evans did a great job playing the kind of the hot shot, the one that's kind of like the playboy, the ladies' man. And I think Joseph Quinn does a great job of having that too. But at the same time, I love the fact that he's more mature. Like you have a Fantastic Four here that's been this team for 4 years in this on this earth, and I love the fact in this Fantastic Four movie that this is a more mature Johnny. Because one of the things about Johnny in the comics is that yes, he's a ladies' man, and they don't downplay that in my opinion. And you see, like when he's trying to float with the Silver Surfer in this movie, and even Ben like talks about it, Ben Grimm, the Thing, to Johnny, and they kind of reference stuff that he was probably a big ladies' man back when he back then before he got his powers. When he started, he was probably a big ladies' man. They don't downplay that in my opinion. Like you see, and even when he's like, he even references the fact that like he's interested in the Silver Surfer because she's a hot girl on a silver board. Like she looks like she's naked, a hot girl on a silver board. So they do reference the fact that he's a ladies' man. Like I don't feel like they take that element out of the character. The way I look at this Johnny Storm in this movie is that he's like, you have that element, but he's also mature too. And that's one thing I love about this Johnny Storm in this movie. Like you really feel like his love for his sister. There's some fun moments between him and Ulysses that I thought was funny. And you really feel his love for this family in this movie. Like when you think he's gonna make the sacrifice play at the end to save Franklin. His nephew was, again, you really feel the love for his, like how much he loves this family. And I just think he brings a lot of maturity and layers to the character where he's not just the hot shot in the group and the ladies' man and the player. To me, I always felt like this with Johnny Storm in the comics, is that yes, he's a ladies' man, that's a part of his character, but he also is somebody who, when it's time to be serious, he's gonna be there for his family. And I also love the fact they show that he's smart in this movie. He's not just like Chris Evans really played up the hot shot and the ladies' man and the player on whatever that character those Tim Story ones. I never really felt like Johnny was really all that smart in those Tim Story ones. Not that he was an like idiot or anything like that, but I love the fact in this movie you see that he's not just that. Like he's not just a ladies' man. So I love the fact that he like gave more layers to Johnny in this version. And I think Joseph Quinn does a great job of making it his own while still feeling like a character from the comics. When it comes to Ebon Moss, the actor who plays this thing, I thought he was great too. Like I love Michael Chiklis. Like the two positives I have about the Tim Story Fantastic Four movies is that Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis I thought was great as Human Torch and the Thing. I thought Ebon Moss does a great job playing the Thing. I think he brings a lot of heart to the character. Where he really feels like he kind of like grounds the group in a way, which I love in this movie. And I just think he brings tons of charm and personality to the character. Like you see this scene in the trailer where he lifts up the car, which I thought was a great, fun, charming moment with the character. And I love the moments between him and Johnny in this movie. We really feel like we really sense his love for the family, and that's one of the things that I really love about this movie with this cast is that one of the problems I had with Tim's Story ones and 2015 one is that I never felt like they were family in those movies. I never felt like, okay, these are people who would die for each other. These are people that love each other. I never felt that in those past movies. This is the first time I was like, yeah, I buy these people as a family. Like the whole cast in this movie, I thought had great chemistry around. Like, yeah, they feel like a family in this. I had never felt that in any of the other movies, personally. So I feel like this movie finally captured that, which is to me the biggest element of a Fantastic Four, which is that you need to buy these people are family. And I definitely felt it in this movie compared to the past Fantastic Four movies. So I thought Eva Moss, great as it's saying, the whole cast have great chemistry in my opinion in this movie. I also love the fact that this movie takes place on a different Earth, not on the MCU Earth, so it has more stakes to it. Where these are the only heroes on this Earth. Like, there's no other heroes around us. I love that. It makes it feel different from the other MCU movies and just adds more stakes to it. And this movie, I love the fact that it leads into the fact that this is a Fantastic Four that are celebrities. They've established now. We don't need to do an origin, which I'm perfectly fine with. Like, to me, I love the fact it's like Superman, we get thrown into the ass and the world loves them and they're celebrating them. And it just, to me, I think I really love that because it just makes it feel different from other MCU movies. I also love the retro vibe and the look of the movie, production wise. It looks great. Like, I love the way the Earth looks, where it kind of has like an old fashioned retro vibe look to it with a modern spin on it. Like, I don't like if they do a sequel, which I hope they do. I would love to just spend more time in this world because just the look of the world looks really cool. I thought Julia, the actress who played the female version of Silver Surfer, Julia, I think is her name, Julia Garner. Julia Garner. I thought she was great as I believe that she's playing the female version, which I think is called Shelley Ball. Which if I'm pronouncing the character's name wrong, let me know. And I don't know too much about this version of this character of Silver Surfer. Like I'm more familiar with the Norman Wad version of a Silver Surfer. I know in the comics she is the Norman Wad's wife in the comics, and they don't ever like state in this movie whether her husband or the guy she's with on her planet if that's supposed to be Norman Wad or not. And I know her version in the comics was like an alternate version. So when it comes to this version of Silver Surfer, I thought Julia Garner was fantastic in this movie. I think she brings just a lot of layers to the character, where like she's not just a bad guy or bad person. Like she brings a lot of layers to it, where you really feel pain. Like there's a great moment in this movie with Johnny Storm. He's always trying to float Widow. How he does the same way he's able to have he'll listen to like the sounds of all the sounds of pain, like sounds of pain from all the people on these planets that she's that she's helped Glacis destroy. And you really feel the pain in that moment for character. Where you really feel like that she just brings a lot of layers to this character, and you really feel attached to a character. I just really came out loving this version of Silver Surfer. And I thought there was some just funny moments between Hel and Johnny, how he's like trying to flirt with Phil, and how she like is kind of like annoyed by him a little bit at first. So I just thought she was great as a character. Like to me, she's a great actress, and this is the first time I really loved her in a role. Like I didn't really care for her in the Wolfman, but I thought she was great in this. I thought she brought just a lot of layers and a lot of depth to the character of this version of Silver Surfer, and I wouldn't mind seeing this version of Silver Surfer again. Like you don't see her die at the end, so I think it would be cool to see her character again. And also, I know people were all been out of arms when they announced a female Silver Surfer, even though she's not playing in known Rad version, and this is a version that exists in the comics. But I think it makes sense for this to be this version because since this movie is so family deals with a family theme element, and what Glasses is after in this movie, it makes total sense why you would go with this version of Silver Surfer, Ashley, because you see that she had a kid, and I think that actually really enhances the element of what Glasses is after in this movie because it connects to the family theme of the movie. So I feel like it actually made sense to pick this version of Silver Surfer based on the story they were telling in this movie. So I thought Julie Garner is fantastic in this movie. And the actor who does the voice Glasses in this movie, I thought he was great. To me, they nailed Glasses in this movie. And I love the fact that even when Glasses isn't on screen, you still feel the stakes. Like, you feel like this is something they can't stop. And I love how in this movie, one of the things I love about the stakes in this movie is it really is a personal stakes in this movie, where it's about them not wanting to give up their kid. Like, you find out Glasses in this movie, like he sees that Franklin, the kid, is really powerful, and he wants Franklin to take over basically what he does, which is feeding his hunger by eating planets, so he can be free and get rid of his hunger. So I know in the comics, Glasses, there's a storyline in the comics where Glasses does go after Franklin. So I'm curious how what role Franklin's going to play in the future MCU with how powerful. Like I'm not too familiar with the character, but from what fans have told me, he's really powerful in the comics. And I love the fact that you just have personal stakes with that. Where one of my favorite moments in this movie is when you see Beavis. You see in a trailer where the president asks him like, "Were you able to stop Glasses?" And he tells him, like he tried talking to Glasses, and he said he couldn't give up. It was too high of a price what he had to give up. And that's what is also about this movie is just how you see kind of people turn on the Fantastic Four at first, like them maybe being self-respect. They don't want to give up their kid for thousands of people for a whole planet. I just love how like this really deals with stakes that are personal with family stakes. How like anybody not resisting like yeah you want to give up your kid. And I just love how it's a personal story for Fantastic Four and it's the stakes. I think Glass is terrifying in this. I think the actor does a great job of making his voice sound threatening. Where you're like, yeah, like when he talks, you just like he sounds like a god, like something to be terrifying. And I love the look of Glasses in this movie. He looks straight out of the comics. One of the issues I have with the second Tim story one is they made him a cloud emblem in that movie, which was so dumb. But to me, I love the fact they embrace Glasses how he looks in the comics. I thought they did a great job with the look of the character. I thought he did like he had a great presence to him even when he wasn't on screen. Like you feel like okay, this is something they can't stop. And I love the fact they don't kill him at the end because to me, Glass is one of the most powerful characters in the comics, and I do think we'll see his character again. So I'm glad they didn't kill him off at the end. He got like don't the Silver Surfer comes and makes sacrifices stuff to to knock him into a portal. So I love the fact that they don't like destroy or kill him at that. Like you do, I feel like you are going to see him again at some point. So I love the fact that he wasn't like taken out completely. And that, like I said, I just think the actor does a great job just bringing this terrifying element to his voice where he really does sound like this all powerful god that you can't stop. And like I said, I love the fact he just looks like straight from the comics. He's not a cloud like in the Tim Story one. So they did a great job with the design of Glasses in this movie. So overall, I thought this was a fantastic movie in my opinion. Like the cast do a great job. I thought everybody nailed their characters. I thought they all had great chemistry with each other. I felt like this movie had a great tone to it. One of the issues with Tim Story ones personally is that they were too goofy for me. This movie I felt like had a perfect balance of being little moments of comedy and relief, but never feel like it overdoes it with the comedy. Like you always felt the stakes in this movie. So I think this movie had the perfect tone to it what a Fantastic Four movie should be. So overall, great movie. To me, this is by far the best Fantastic Four movie. And I would definitely recommend to go check this out in theaters. Like if you're somebody who's been waiting for a good to great Fantastic Four movie and has been disappointing in past ones, in my opinion, this is by far, like I said, the best one. And if you're a Fantastic Four fan, well, not a fan, I definitely recommend just go check out this movie in theaters, like I said. So that's my thoughts on Fantastic Four: The First Steps. Until next time, movie fans.